One of the things I love about Lego is how versatile it is. You can build exactly what you want to build. You can take a set and modify it, and by changing bricks or changing the design, you can turn it into whatever it is you want it to be. And that's what I did this week. And I'm going to show you in just a second my modified 3-in-1 castle from last season. And I turned it into the castle for my new idea, the Wolfpack Nation. I'm Tom Bray since 1954. And yes, I think I talked about this, that I reimagined what the Wolfpack could be because I bought a bunch of torsos off of Pick-a-Brick now that they're available for the Wolfpack Nation. And I just didn't want them to be marauders and robbers and scavengers. I wanted it to be something more. I wanted it to be a nation. So last week I talked a little bit more in depth about my ideas on that. But this week, my Pick-a-Brick bricks finally arrived, and so I could modify the 3-in-1 castle to be exactly what I wanted it to be. And I'm going to show that to you right now. So here it is. Here's the overview. And this is it opened. And you'll notice some things right away. And the first thing is that I modified the colors, and indeed I did. And there's a mistake in there on my part. I intended for the new colors to be mostly red and mostly black. But unfortunately, when I ordered the black bricks, I must not have looked carefully at my order, and what I got instead were dark navy bricks, the same color that comes with the original set. So I made the most of it. Rather than reorder, I used those bricks because why not? I also had some roof tiles that were that color from the original set. So I thought I'd give it a go, and I can always change it out to black if I reorder. But I rather like it, actually. I like the red and the blue, and I kind of like the look of it. So that's the first thing you'll notice. And because in my mind, this Wolfpack Nation, they're miners, miners under the earth, and they mine jewels. And in my mind, the principal jewel of the kingdom, of the nation, is the ruby. And so I imagine that those red roof tiles are fashioned after jewels, and they glisten in the sun. Now, another thing you'll notice right away is that I've extended the height of the side tower, and I made it one more story. And the way I did that was I had extra bricks from my building of the second 3-in-1 build that I did, which was simply the tower. And I had extra bricks left over from that, and they happened to be the exact bricks I needed to go up a floor. So I just went up one floor when I got to that point in the build, and rather than put the roof on and do all of that, I just extended the floor and the arrow slits by one more level. And I really love the height of that tower. I think it really adds something to the overall build here. And so I'm very, very pleased with the way that turned out. Now, first of all, I have to tell you that I had forgotten how much I loved this build, just building this set. I think this remains one of my favorite Lego sets ever. Was so jazzed to be able to build another version of it and to just revisit that build, because I just think that it's one of the more spectacular sets. It took me about 2 days of a couple of hours each day to build it. So it comes together relatively quickly. And all I did was, when I got to most of the yellow bricks in the set, I just traded them out for red bricks that I had ordered. Now, I left some yellow in the set here and there just for variety, and just because I thought the aesthetic of it looked really good. And then I added in some of that kind of dark navy blue in with the gray, just to give it a kind of, I imagine it another kind of stone, or, even lapis or some sort of gemstone. And so I just experimented with that, and I really liked the vibe. But again, this build is really, really fun. And if you don't have the set yet, surprisingly, it is still available on Amazon. And in fact, I went back and I ordered one more set of it, because in the building of it, as I was finished with the first day of this modification I just did, I realized I didn't want to be without a completely unbuilt set. I wanted another one in my reserve. And so I went ahead and ordered it. And if they don't hurry up and sell out, I'm going to order yet another one. I think this is my fourth or fifth set of this. I did some modifications on the back side of this in the interior rooms that I'm really, really excited about. The first modification is just a little simple one. I dressed my skeleton, the poor prisoner who was forgotten and locked into his cell, and I dressed him in a helmet, and I put a spider web in front of him with a spider, because I figured he'd been there for so long that the spiders have moved in after the flesh fell off his bones. So that was the first modification. The second one was inside the anvil room. And, the blacksmith's kind of shop back there. And I reimagined it not as a blacksmith, working on a sword and pounding that into a blade, but working with jewels. So I placed some rubies into the hands of the workers inside. I added 2 actual figures that were working. And the torsos and the bodies that I used for those figures were also now available on Pick-a-Brick, and they're the purple torsos, and I believe they were used for like a tax collector in the Village Scene set that came out, I think, last season or the season before. I have that set, I just haven't built it yet. But I really liked the look of those torsos and the colors, and I thought, the workers that are craftsmen who work on the jewels that are mined are probably highly skilled craftsmen. And so I liked the idea that they had their kind of own uniforms, that they were their own kind of high in the pecking order of the kingdom. They were well respected, and I just thought the purple looked really cool. I intend to order some more of those parts because I'd like to have a few more of those figures walking around interacting with the fruits of the mine. That's what I did with this set. I'm extremely pleased with it. What about you? Have you considered taking another look at this 3-in-1 castle and building it and modifying it? Are you a person that buys multiple of these sets just so you can have the castle parts? I think that's a great way to gather castle parts, frankly. Let me know in the comments. I'm always interested in what you have to say. Until next time, keep building. Take care.